Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So winter is right around the corner, and unfortunately that means two things. For one, I don't get to drive my C8 Corvette, and same with the Hellcat Charger. And the other issue that I seem to face every winter with a lot of other Porsche owners is dealing with leaks that come from the Porsche during cold weather. And one particular leak is what I will be focusing on this video, and that deals with the air suspension system. So 2 years ago, I made a video on the chassis system failure on my 2011 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. And a lot of you sent some comments thanking me for making that video, as it helped a lot of you to repair your issue with minimal cost. And if you haven't watched that video, basically what happened was, as I was driving, that dreaded chassis system failure red symbol came on my dash, and I could hardly drive the vehicle. It was very bumpy, it didn't ride very well at all. And all I did was just replace a simple fuse for $2, and it's resolved my issues. And so this video is just a follow-up from that video. So that video was made 2 years ago, and in the last 2 years I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever, despite the fact that I've had some severe cold snaps here up in Canada, and I haven't blown the fuse, and the air suspension system still works the way it should. So no issues so far. So I just want to do a kind of a follow-up on that video that I made for you guys. And I also want to share 2 tips with you that might help prevent this happening to you this winter. Now in that video I mentioned the first thing you should do when you do have that system chassis failure is check your fuse, which is located on the driver's side. And this is a fuse that you want to check. It's a 40 amp. So, and this fuse controls your entire air suspension system. And there's a spare fuse that I put on 2 years ago and still haven't had to use it. So first thing you do when you get that system chassis failure is check that fuse. And what I found is as soon as I plugged in that fuse, everything worked perfectly. And it's been perfect for 2 years now. In that video, I mentioned that this problem occurs more commonly during cold weather, and especially at higher elevations. Furthermore, I said that there's nothing you can really do to prevent this issue from happening. It's just a known problem with the Porsches. However, I think there are 2 things you could do to mitigate the risk of this happening to you. So my first tip would be to run a smaller size wheel during the winter. This is a 22-inch wheel, and this is the wheel I was using when I had that system chassis failure appear on my dash. By running a smaller wheel, you'll put less stress on your air suspension system. So that would be my first tip, is to run smaller wheels in the winter. So my second tip to mitigate the risk of you blowing the fuse for your air suspension system is check the tire pressure on your tires. Now when I got my tires brand new, the tire dealership set 40 psi for all 4 tires, and according to Porsche, your front tires should be at 37 psi and the rears should be at 46 psi. So I was overinflated in the front and underinflated in the rear, and when I switched my psi to this 37 in the front and 46 in the rear, I've noticed the car rides way smoother. It's not as rough, and I think if you keep to this PSI, it should help soften the ride, especially in the front shocks, because those are more prone to leak. Those are prone to leak more than the rear. So make sure that your front tires are not overinflated. Now, since I made that video, I've done a lot of research on the air suspension system for the Porsches. So I'll make several videos on this topic in the coming weeks, dealing with the air suspension system, because I want to share the things that I've learned to help all of you who are experiencing issues with your air suspension system on your Porsche. So I hope you found that all informative, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks.